cloud. So good morning, everybody. Thank you for all of the really great feedback. You know, we can't get better as human beings if we don't get feedback from all of you. So please continue with the feedback. I'm going to give you some hints as to what that is in just, not yet, but in a moment. So before I get started, welcome, second day of the PowerHouse SMART Luxury Conference. As you can see, Jason Lenhart from JL Consulting, we're in the bank vault at the Chicago Merchandise Mart. This is a new part of the Bosch Thermador Gaggenau showroom, and they are hosting us for these past 2 days as we're broadcasting from here. So Brian Jessen is going to be speaking. He's our guaranteed rate sponsor at the end of my opening remarks, which are just going to be short this morning, but we're going to get some great insight from Brian on what's happening in real estate and lending. And he said I should open up all the safety deposit boxes and see if anybody left any money in there, which might be funny, but that's great. So welcome. We're admitting everybody into the room. And I just have a couple things I wanted to chat about this morning for opening remarks. If you weren't here yesterday, I'm Wendy Cohen. I'm the founder of PowerHouse SMART, which is kind of my night job. My real day-to-day job is being a recruiter in our industry. And I have to say that I've found my niche, and you know, all my life I've wanted to help other people, and I wanted to inspire and motivate and grow with people and help their companies grow. And being a recruiter, I can do that much faster and help more people at the same time. So thank you to all of my recruiting clients, my employers, and all of our candidates. And we're going to be doing we do this once or twice a year, a very inexpensive for client employers speed recruiting event on April 15th. So you buy a seat. It's really inexpensive, $75. We're actually giving away one seat if you go to the PowerHouse Recruiting virtual booth, again in Hoover. And you can pick from what I'm going to select as the top candidates who are interested in internships and are the future leaders of our industry. So good morning. A couple things that I wanted to share with everyone. First of all, again, thank you for the feedback. I asked a couple people what their favorite part was, and you know, everyone had wonderful things to say about all the content. Remarkable, brilliant, bravo. I heard just rave reviews, which is really self-fulfilling, because it really I knew that sitting in Newport Coast as we were planning this for the last year, that this was going to be one of those conferences that had content that was really going to shake people up and get people excited. And I'm getting that reinforcement. And so I'm thrilled that it's resonating with all of you. So I also heard that the live opera singer, Tom Ford, in the Mindful Moment was a highlight for a lot of people. And he was, and Tom, that was just amazing, especially since we were originally going to have a short recording of your Mindful Moment. We just decided, pull the plug, go live. So we did that. I heard wonderful feedback. So if you weren't here yesterday, really quick review. Lenore Weiss, so thoughtful, really talking about the senses and how we design, encompassing the whole human being. It was just really great. Anders Lassiter and Joe Kramer were such gentlemen. We had a little technical difficulty. And so we decided as a team here at PowerHouse that we are going to share that link with all of you via email. So you can see that hard hat tour. It'll be the only one that we're going to share out as a compliment to all of you who have been so kind and understanding with some of our virtual glitches in the beginning. So, and Anders was such a gentleman. He kept saying, no problem. He's already got a couple appointments. So that's terrific. After we saw Lenore and we saw Anders, we had Barbara Ballinger, which got great reviews too. She was very general in her conversation about all the things she's learned over the years in sustainability. It was great for our consumer audience as well. So Barbara, thank you. And then we had Luann Nagara, who's always, in the industry. She's, really fine-tuned into what things we all need to talk about and hear and lessons learned. So her and Brad Levitt and Jenny and Jessica put on a great collaborative event. And then we had Chef John. He did an amazing cooking demo in less than a half an hour, we had baked brie and we were like drooling. So that was really crazy. And we had Shannon Radcliffe, who was really articulate with collaboration. And again, for PowerHouse SMART members, this is exactly what we've been doing and preaching and talking about, and what our advisory board members are trying to, you know, continually reinforce within our community is this giving without expecting anything with return. It's this full circle of everybody helping each other, and really why the PowerHouse SMART mantra and you know, purpose for being is about educating, knowledge sharing, collaboration, and give and get referrals. And we are like-minded, so we've got kind of our own ethical code that we take care of each other and respond to phone calls. So one of the things that we had a great speed networking at the end of the night. Pamela Self put on a hard hat tour, 2.2 miles of landscaping up Michigan Avenue, which is called the Magnificent Mile. Was great, absolutely fantastic. I heard just a few minutes ago, Brian said one of his favorites was Robin Wilson and Megan Riley sharing all their green tips and how important it is for us to get a new pillow, right? So that was really great. So honestly, everything yesterday was really fabulous. So what I want to share with you today is, first of all, I got some survey feedback, and you can go back to yesterday's events, go into Whova, go back to that session, and where the link was that it says get into the session by live stream, go just a couple little over a little bit. Please hit the survey and give those speakers feedback so we can share with them what you learned and what you felt. And it's really quickly, it's like 3 questions. And then for today, please give us feedback after every session. We're going to put it in the chat and remind you, just got to go back to Whova, go to that session, click on it. And then I did get some people who said to me, my team especially, please just spend a minute or 2 on Whova. So Whova is a really simple platform, but of course, for all of you, it's new. And I've been working on it now for a year as we get ready for the conference. So it seems easy to me. The sessions are pretty clear, you know, live stream and then the survey. And then if you go to the left where you can set your agenda up, there's what they call a community room, and there's people are posting articles. They're also sending messages to each other on that side screen. If somebody sends you a message, please be polite and respond to that message. Obviously, you don't have to do it immediately. Try to do it within 24 hours, and know that there are messages there for you, as well as let's see, there's articles there. Oh, the virtual events. You got it. I know there's not a lot of time in between. You can go, you know, when you have a minute at the end of the day, but there's definitely some giveaways. I know NASBAR is giving away something, computer, some kind of software or hardware. I can't quite remember, but I signed up for it. And I know that at Better, you can sign up to get published. So that's fantastic. So today we have quite a lineup, and I'm going to turn it over to Brian Jessen in just a minute. Right when we're done here with Brian, we're going to go to our second hard hat tour, which is in the Santa Monica Mountains in the Pacific Palisades. It's going to be great. And then we have lots of education. Nathan Kipnis, who is, in my mind, the authority, since he works on the national level in DC on the Sustainability Committee. And then at the same time, you can choose to be a Nathan's, or you can learn about branding and marketing. Claire and Brad, great session, really good behind the scenes insider tips. And they're both this, you know, hot, fresh new ideas. And then from there, we have our third actually it's our fourth, because if you call Pamela Self's a hard hat tour, our fourth hard hat tour is John Wilkin. You got to go see that. It's really a fun, and he just won 2 awards from the Home Builders Association for his project, which was on Lakeshore Drive. And then from there, really quick, I'm just going to go on. We have our Power Connections. So most of the afternoon is going to be live. Power Connections is one of the favorite things. If you get on, Michael Menn mentioned that some people aren't putting their video on. Be sure to put your video on when you're in those types of sessions, so we can see you not only, and we can, you know, send chats, lots of chats. I love all the chats. And then we have a great afternoon as well. We've got Susan Noyes, her mindful moment is beautiful. We've got Jason, who's going to be talking about all the new smart technology. Brody, who's going to be talking about video marketing. Schmettig is doing outside, what's hot and new in outside landscaping. And at the same time, Luann has a concurrent event or she's talking about is Pinterest killing the creative mind? Very interesting for especially professionals. And then don't forget to come back at the end of the day, because that's going to be our farewell toast. We'll have a little music. Again, we all talked about how the singing and the music was so special yesterday. We're going to let everyone tell us what they loved most or learned most, or who they met, and we're going to open up the mics. So it's going to be really fun. We have got our champagne. So without further ado, Brian, I am going to pin you and let you speak. Where's Brian? Here we go. Sorry, were there people waiting to get in? There are people waiting to get in, and I apologize. I did not see people waiting to get in. And here's Brian. So Brian, I'm going to pick you right here. Here we go. And I'm going to add spotlight. There you are, Brian. Take it away.
Hey guys. Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Brian Jessen, a Senior Vice President, Lender Guaranteed Rate. I think it's so cool that Wendy introduces me and she's in a bank vault. So how cool is that? There's a bank vault at the Merchandise Mart. I think that's unbelievable. So that's probably the coolest thing I've seen in a while. So I just want to speak briefly. I think there's some information y'all should know about. I think it would be very helpful going into 21 and 22. It's only going to be a few minutes. So if I can have your attention for maybe 3 or 4 minutes, I think it's going to be helpful. I'm just going to talk about some positives and negatives and headwinds going into the next couple of years. I think really positives are really outweigh the negatives by a lot right now. So we've got positive energy with vaccines. People are starting to. There's millions of people getting vaccinated. They're talking about potential herd immunity anywhere from June to August of this year. So, you can just feel the energy of people being positive about the second half of this year, whether it be traveling, going restaurants, even in Illinois here. Now they're at 50% capacity as of today. So again, just positive energy, positive things happening here as people have gotten through the last year. Interest rates are unbelievable. So they're the lowest. I was going to send you a chart, Wendy, but I didn't have time to send it to you. But I can send it out to anybody. There's this bullet point thing I have. It's 1 page plus the interest rate thing. If anybody's interested, just email me, brian@rate.com. It's interesting to have it, I think, to show people. But interest rates are so low. They're the lowest they've been in 70 years. They've creeped up a teeny bit in the last few weeks, but they're still, in the low threes, or even mid 2s to low 3s, which is absolutely unbelievable. If anybody is greater than 25 years old, I think everyone remembers interest rates much higher than that. I remember way back in the day that when my father's an architect, so I do remember those interest rates of 18-20%. So 2.5 to 3.5% is great. There should be a slight increase perhaps this year, maybe about 0.5%, but the Federal Reserve is supporting interest rates. They're buying treasuries, they're buying bonds to keep interest rates low on the longer end. The economy should continue to recover with the economic stimulus that's going to be passed probably the next few days. It's $1.9 trillion, which I can't even imagine how many zeros that is. And again, continued reopening of businesses. The real estate market, generally, I know it varies from region to region to a certain extent, is really on fire. People are wanting larger spaces. People are renovating their houses. They can't stand their house they've been in all year for home office, more living space, moving to the suburbs, some renovating second homes. I lend across the country. So no matter where you are, whether you're in California, New York, Florida, wherever, I can help you. And I'm seeing so many people get second homes, whether it be North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, Florida, Colorado, Arizona, California, Texas. It's amazing. And in the Midwest, like the local sort of Indiana, Wisconsin, Michigan. And I can't believe how many people are getting a second home or wanting a second home, or maybe eventually moving to that home, but right now buying second homes. So there's huge opportunities in your regions with people doing that. A new construction and renovation market is generally booming. It's amazing how many people are wanting to renovate, like I talked about, and wanting new construction. They want something new. They want to take all these new technologies, new innovations, green, energy efficiency, solar, and incorporate them into their homes. So there's a larger and larger percentage of people open to that and willing to do that and interested in doing it. So that trend is not going away. And a very, very important positive, and I just heard this morning, so this is brand new information. So during the last year, during the pandemic, consumers in the United States have saved $3 trillion of money. So again,
Wow.
I don't know how many zeros that is again, even though I'm a lender, that's a lot of zeros, but people have money to spend. So as again, they feel confident as this economy continues to recover, they have money for housing, they have money for travel, they have money for entertainment, and people are itching to travel and entertain and buy housing. So just a few short headwinds just to be aware of. I think you will see us potentially rising interest rates in 2023 and 2024. I don't think they're going to go crazy, but they will be a little bit higher. I mean, the market has been, so low on interest rates for so long. They'll still be very reasonable, but they will be a little bit higher. There may be some potential inflation in creeping into our economy. There's been a lot of stimulus already. This new bill is stimulus, which is good for economic activity. But again, that's a lot of spending to have, plus budget deficits. Some states have budget deficits. The federal government has a large budget deficit of 30 trillion. Again, that word trillion again. So they have to pay interest on that, and that tends to dampen their spending on other things. As you know, if you're in the industry, rising building costs, lumber has doubled, concrete. There's some labor shortages. I've talked to somebody yesterday who is a builder that talked about how many of the tradesmen were moving to the Southeast and leaving the Midwest and going down there because of how much activity is going down in the Southeast. There's still 10 million people more unemployed than there was a year ago. So some of those people will get obviously reemployed. Some people will have to re-engineer their careers. Other people will go back to the travel industry, the restaurant industry, corporate events and corporate planning. Like our company is doing our first event in October offsite. So, with all the people around the country. So again, I know a lot of people might wait till next year to do those, but eventually there's still more activity on that. And then lastly, this is sort of the unknown, is COVID-19 variants. So what does that mean? People have been hearing about it. Is that going to mean that you're going to have to get vaccinated like every other year? I talked to an infectious disease doctor, and he said maybe every other year you might have to do almost like a flu booster shot, maybe not do it yearly, but as they see these variants happen, you might end up having the cycle of every couple of years having to get a booster shot when you go in to get your flu shot. But overall, unbelievably positive things for this year and next year, especially. Everyone should be super enthusiastic. Take your extra caffeine pill or get that extra hour of rest at night, because there's just a ton of activity that's out there to be had, and collaborate together, piggyback off of each other. There's a tremendous amount of talent in this PowerHouse SMART. I mean, the best of the best. So if you have any needs for anything, whether it be lending for me, Wendy is meticulous in vetting out the people in this group. So anybody you would talk to are going to be the best of the best. So again, I'll turn it back to Wendy. Brian Jessen, guaranteed rate. If you're interested, want to talk to me, my information's on PowerHouse SMART. You can always email me at Brian, BRIAN, at rate, RATE.com. So Brian at rate.com. Thank you. Bye, Wendy.
Okay, well, Brian, thank you. That was fantastic. And Brian, thank you again for always being a sponsor of the PowerHouse Smart Luxury Conference. So I put in the chat, if you came a little late, please make sure you go back to Whova for each one of our sessions and give us some feedback. We only get better and learn when we get your feedback. So now we're going to be moving. And by the way, I want to thank my family for being my cheerleaders. You guys are awesome. I love you so much. I went home yesterday. My son was there, gave me a big hug. My husband called me, my mom, everyone. Thank you. So do you feel inspired? Do you feel elevated? Do you feel armed with insider motivation, insider knowledge? That's what we're all about. We're going to move now. So you're going to leave this link and you're going to go to our next Architect Builder Hard Hat Tour. So we're all going to be transformed into the Santa Monica Mountains and the Pacific Palisades with Abramson Architects and Jagoda Engineering and Construction. So I'll see you all there. And I know we're going to have a wonderful day together. My gratitude always for all of you in my life. Thank you. See you in a few minutes.